Watch this video if you want to learn how to burn fat, build muscles with the ketogenic diet.
Alright, so this is going to be a 4-part series on the ketogenic diet. Throughout the series, we're going to cover the basics of the ketogenic diet, how to implement it, what are the benefits of the ketogenic diet, how to use it to burn fat, how to use it to build muscle, and what other health benefits you can get from the ketogenic diet, as well as the cognitive, mental, focus abilities that you can gain when you implement the ketogenic diet. I've been doing the ketogenic diet for the last few months and I've seen amazing results, probably the best results I've seen from any diet program I've ever tried. And this is after being a personal trainer, training other people for over 15 years. Now, I'm not just going to give you anecdotal evidence. I'm not just going to say what's worked for me or just for the people I've trained. I'm also going to cite the studies. I'll put them on the screen and I'll put links to the studies in the description below. So you know I'm just not talking. I'm just not saying things. And you know, if anyone wants to dispute any of the claims I make in this video, you are more than welcome to check out the links to the scientific data in the description. And after you do that, you're also welcome to go yourself. What exactly is the ketogenic diet? The ketogenic diet is a drastically low carbohydrate diet, and it's different from other low carbohydrate diets like the Atkins diet or traditional just low carb diets, because the carbohydrates are replaced with fat. Now when this happens, your body shifts from using glucose for energy to metabolizing fat for energy and producing what is called ketones, and that's what your body runs off of in the absence of glucose. And this is an important distinction between the ketogenic diet and just regular low carb diets or the Atkins diet, because on the Atkins diet or a traditional low carb diet, people usually replace the carbohydrates with more protein. What happens is when you ingest high amounts of protein, your body will actually convert that protein into glucose, a process called gluconeogenesis. But the ketogenic diet is different, because instead of going extra high protein, you go extra high fat, and eating that fat will not make you fat. Dietary fat ingestion does not translate into more body fat on your body. This is important because when your body doesn't have a lot of glucose in it, it also keeps your insulin levels low. The reason having low insulin levels is helpful is because when your insulin is spiked, you are not in fat burning mode. I want to repeat that. When your insulin levels are high, your body is not going to be burning fat. It's going to be using glucose as fuel instead of fat. And that's one of the reasons why the ketogenic diet works better for burning fat than traditional just low carb diets, because we keep the protein moderate and that prevents your insulin from spiking. People still lose weight on traditional low carb diets or just by reducing calories. But the reason people lose weight on low carb diets is typically because they're usually just end up being by default in a caloric deficit. But the ketogenic diet takes that to another level by keeping the insulin low, keeping the glucose low, and your body is literally forced to use fat as energy. Now, you will experience a ton of additional benefits when you are in ketosis because your glucose is low and your insulin levels are low. And a lot of those are just, people notice they start to have more energy. Just more energy, right? A lot of times when people do low carb diets, they feel kind of moody or weak. That's because their body's still running off of glucose, but it's an inefficient means. Gluconeogenesis, when your body converts protein into glucose for energy, it's just not as efficient. And that's one of the reasons why people are so moody and or tired when they're on a traditional low carb diet. But the ketogenic diet, your body's running off ketones, which are converted in your liver from your fat cells for energy, and you don't experience it. In fact, you have more energy. That's been my experience. I've had more energy. Not only that, my skin is clearless, borderline flawless, and that's because a lot of acne can be traced back to hormonal imbalances, right? Your hormones just being out of whack and it makes your skin go haywire. And that's one of the reasons why teenagers or young people have a lot of acne problems, because their hormones are going pew, pew, pew all over the place. But the ketogenic diet keeps insulin levels low, which is one of the main hormones responsible for acne. You'll also notice your blood work may come back better. Like I had my cholesterol tested before implementing this diet, and I had it tested after. And here's one of the things, man, my cholesterol, I didn't realize it was very high before I started this diet. It was close to 300, which is crazy. And my good cholesterol, my HDL was 10, which is almost dangerously low. I didn't even know it because I felt fine. So it was a good thing I had this test done. But when I did the ketogenic diet, a few months into it, my HDL had increased to about 65, and my total cholesterol cut in half almost. It was around 160. So it's actually good for your heart and your cholesterol levels. There are a lot of studies to corroborate that. Again, there's links in the description. So how do you get into ketosis and implement this diet? It's all about the macros. So first of all, you want to keep your fat intake at about 75%. This is a high fat diet. See, it's not really a low carb diet. I mean, it is a low carb diet, but more than that, it's a high fat diet. And that's what differentiates this diet from the majority of low carb diets or the Atkins diet. It's high fat. And that way you keep the energy levels high and you feel good when you're on this diet. It doesn't even feel like a diet. In fact, you feel spectacular. So you want to keep your fat intake at around 75%. You want to keep your protein intake under 20%. This is wildly important, because if your protein intake goes too high, again, your body will convert that protein into glycogen, kicking you out of ketosis. Now your body is running off glucose again instead of off of ketones made from fat. And you want to keep your carbs under 5%. So you want to keep your carbs really, really low on this diet. Fat really, really high, protein moderate. Here's the problem. This is where a lot of people run into trouble. There is what's called a keto adaptation phase. So the first week or two, or sometimes even 3 weeks, is going to take your body a little while to adapt to using fat as fuel as opposed to using glucose as fuel. All right, and what's going to happen is you're going to go through like a glucose withdrawal, and you're going to feel withdrawal symptoms similar to a drug addict. All right, you might feel lethargic initially. You might get what's called the keto flu, where people just feel like crap. They might be moody, and that's because your body is depriving itself. It hasn't learned to run off its fat cells yet and convert those fat cells into ketones, which will give you the energy. So you want to be patient when you implement this initially, and after a week or two, maybe 3 for some people, you will notice that you start to feel better, almost great, better than before, because you'll have more stable energy levels, right? When you're running off glycogen, your insulin levels are going up and down, shooting up and down, and that's kind of what makes you tired. You ever notice when you eat a big meal and then you feel you get tired after that? You know, I have a genetic predisposition to that. It's called the itis. You know, people in my bloodline, my lineage, we suffered from the itis for years. And what happens is you get tired after it, and that lethargy comes from the insulin spike. Now you don't get that when you're on a ketogenic diet. So you can eat big ketogenic meals and still feel fine after it. In fact, your energy levels should be stable. In fact, what I've noticed is that I actually cannot sleep as much when I'm in ketosis. I actually can't sleep the whole 8 hours. I wake up early and I'm like ready to go. I'm fine. You know, that might not be everyone's experience, but that's been mine. And if you search online, you'll see other people corroborating those same sort of stories. Some of you might be saying, hey, isn't it all just calories in, calories out? If I'm in a caloric deficit, why not just lose fat? And you will lose fat if you're in a caloric deficit. But here's the thing. This diet manipulates your hormone levels. Hormones are important, and they may be more important than calories, right? If you think about performance enhancing drugs, they're all basically synthetic forms of human hormones, or they do something to manipulate your body's production of hormones. But in any event, hormones are important to the process of burning fat. So the ketogenic diet takes it a step past calories in, calories out, because now we're working on your body at a hormonal level, causing you to burn fat quicker. In the next video, I'm going to go over how to build more muscle on the ketogenic diet, why I've chosen to stay on the ketogenic diet, why I bulk, how that bulk went for me, bulking on the ketogenic diet, being in caloric surplus, but remaining ketogenic, how to implement it, and how you can implement it. That's what's going to be in the next video. All right, it's going to be a 4-part series. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And if you want more information about the ketogenic diet, I'm putting together a new book called Keto Hacks, where I'll be breaking the whole thing down, the whole structure, helping you accomplish your goals as they pertain to the ketogenic diet, and just giving you more information, more than I can give here in the video. So go to ketohacks.info and check out the book. It should be released on May 22nd. That's when my book Keto Hacks drops. It's going to be a digital book. If you want to want to find more information about that, go to ketohacks.info right now. The link is going to be the first link in the description. Check it out. I look forward to the next video coming soon about how to implement the ketogenic diet. Hey, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer them as many as I can. An even quicker response to the questions is you can ask me on Facebook, because I'm on there all day. So I'll put a link to where you can ask me a question personally on Facebook Messenger, and I'll get in there and try to help you out. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Peace.